leaders, and thanks to the Life Footprints team for putting the forum on. I'm not up for election this time, but I was here in 2007 before that election, so it's a pleasure to be back. In a couple of minutes, I'll try and explain my views on carbon taxes and an ETS, partly because last year I was in the Senate and I did vote against the ETS, so I thought that was worthy of an explanation, given the discussions we had last time. There's many reasons, and I'll do what I can in a couple of minutes to get through them all, but it comes down to a few issues. Firstly, the cost. The ETS was extraordinarily expensive. It was a tax of more than $10 billion each and every year, more than $110 billion over its first 9. And it represented a massive tax on consumers. One of the problems I also had with it was the transfer of that tax revenue from consumers to corporations. I didn't think that was the way we should go about addressing this issue. But these are flaws in any ETS as well, because what we do when we have an input-based ETS is to actually make industries in Australia uncompetitive. What that means is we're not only exporting jobs and economic activity overseas, but we are destroying the value of assets, and people have a right to have the value of their assets protected and not destroyed by legislative fear. 126,000 regional jobs are going to disappear under Labor's ETS, and that's not something which I, as a politician, was happy to bear the burden of to all those families and businesses around Australia. But at the same time, it increased costs quite dramatically for communities. Electricity was going to go up by 20% in 2 years, on top of the increases we're seeing for various other reasons in states around Australia. And the truth is that most people have very little capacity to decrease their energy and electricity use in such a short period. In economic terminology, electricity is highly inelastic. And in Australia, that would dramatically impact some of the most vulnerable in our community, particularly seniors and young families who spend a great deal of time at home in our cold winters and our warm summers. The costs of this were not transparent. They were hidden, and they were hidden in the cost of everyday products that you purchased. Furthermore, and this is something the government didn't want to bring attention to, but was exposed in the Senate debate, it could not be repealed. No matter what technology we discovered, this could not be repealed because the property rights created in those permits required the Commonwealth to buy them back if it ever repealed the scheme. And that meant that could never happen. So the vote in the Senate last year wasn't a vote on climate change. It was a vote on a flawed ETS proposal. And those problems are actually prevalent in most models of an ETS. What I believe is the costs of action should be transparent and they should be fairly borne throughout the community. Some would believe a simple carbon tax is going to solve the problem, but it won't, because as I said, people can't change their behaviour overnight. Government collecting more tax is not going to reduce emissions by 1 single tonne. What the direct action plan that Josh outlined is will actually ensure that the costs are borne by the budget and borne by all Australians for the taxes we all pay in a fair way. Thank you.